All right, everybody, welcome back to another deep dive. Today we're going deep on Google's latest moves in the world of healthcare. We've got a pretty fascinating mix of sources here. A blog post straight from Google themselves, a YouTube announcement that honestly caused quite a stir online, and a deep dive into this thing called Med-Gemini that seems to be on everyone's mind. So we're talking AI, search features, even smartwatches. The big question is Google gearing up to replace your doctor with an algorithm?
Well, maybe not replace just yet, but I think it's safe to say Google is definitely looking to shake things up
Yeah.
in a big way.
Yeah, for sure. So let's start with what's happening with Google Search. They're rolling out this new What People Suggest feature. And basically, it uses AI to sort through tons of online discussions and pull out firsthand experiences. So imagine you're researching something like arthritis, and suddenly you're getting advice directly from people who are actually living with it every day.
Yeah, that's an interesting approach. It kind of feels like Google is acknowledging that. Sometimes the most valuable insights come from people who have actually walked that path themselves.
Yeah.
It's adding that human element to a world that can feel very, I don't know, clinical and sterile sometimes.
Right, for sure. But isn't there a risk there, too? I mean, not every anecdote you find online is going to be accurate or even safe to follow.
Oh, absolutely. It's a double-edged sword for sure.
Right.
I mean, these personal stories, they can be so relatable and so helpful, but it's super important to remember
Yeah.
that they should never be a substitute for professional medical advice.
Yeah, exactly. Always double check with your doctor before you go trying some random internet cure you found.
Exactly.
All right, so moving on to something a little less controversial, maybe. Health Connect. This is a platform for Android devices that's getting a global rollout of some new medical records APIs.
Now, this is where I think we start to see the real potential for change in how we manage our own health data. Because basically, these APIs act like bridges, allowing users to pull together all of their health information from all sorts of different sources, doctors, labs, even your smartwatch. And then you can access it all in one central location.
So instead of digging through file cabinets or trying to remember what your doctor said 6 months ago, you've got it all right there on your phone.
Exactly.
That's got to be huge for people with chronic conditions or complex medical histories.
Oh, absolutely. It puts the power back in the patient's hands.
Right.
They become the curators of their own health narratives.
I like that. Curators of their own health narratives. Okay, speaking of power, did you see what they're doing with the Pixel Watch? Loss of pulse detection? FDA cleared. This thing can literally call 911 if it senses you flatlined.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's a powerful example of how technology can intervene in really critical situations. Think about the potential impact for people with heart conditions, especially elderly folks who might be living alone.
Yeah, that's a really good point. It's almost like having a personal bodyguard for your heart.
It really is.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about the big one, AI. Google is diving deep into this, especially in the world of drug discovery, with something called TXGemma, which I guess is a suite of AI models built specifically for this purpose.
Right, and it builds on their earlier work with Gemini AI models in healthcare. And what's so exciting about TXGemma is its potential to completely change how we discover and develop new medications.
So instead of scientists spending years in the lab, painstakingly testing different compounds, this AI can just sift through mountains of data and pinpoint potential drug candidates way faster.
Exactly.
Oh,
It's like
wow.
having a superpower research assistant.
Yeah.
They can analyze all this complex biological data, identify patterns, and then even predict the effectiveness of potential drug molecules. And that could significantly shorten the drug development timeline, which means bringing life-saving treatments to patients sooner.
That's incredible. But wait, we can't forget about Med-Gemini, their other big AI project. This one seems even more versatile, right?
Yeah, that's right. Med-Gemini is what we call multimodal, meaning it can analyze not just text, but also images, videos, even those really complex 3D medical scans.
What, so it's like an AI that can read your MRI and tell you what's going on?
Well, essentially, yes.
Yeah.
It can interpret all that complex medical imaging data, understand your medical history, and even generate detailed reports, all with a level of accuracy that rivals human experts.
Wow. So we've got AI predicting new drugs and AI interpreting medical scans. What's next? Robot surgeon.
Well, maybe not that far off, but I think for now.
Okay.
Let's focus on what Med-Gemini means for the here and now, because it really has the potential to revolutionize how doctors diagnose and treat patients. Imagine a world where every doctor, no matter where they are, or what they specialize in, has access to this level of AI-powered insight.
Right. It's like having a world-renowned specialist on call 24/7. That could be huge for healthcare accessibility, especially in underserved communities.
Absolutely. And that's really just the tip of the iceberg, because there's a whole family of Med-Gemini models, each with its own unique capabilities.
Okay, hold on. You got to tell me more about this. This is getting really interesting.
Well, there's Med-Gemini Polygenic, which is doing some groundbreaking work in the field of genomics. It can actually analyze your genetic data and predict your risk for certain diseases, potentially even forecasting future health outcomes.
Wait, hold on. So it can look at your DNA and tell you what diseases you might get down the line. That sounds like something straight out of science fiction.
It might sound futuristic, but it's becoming a reality. And this kind of predictive power could really revolutionize preventative healthcare. Imagine getting personalized risk assessments and taking proactive steps to mitigate those risks before they even manifest.
That's mind-blowing. But I think before we get too carried away with all the possibilities, maybe we should take a step back and consider the implications of all this.
Yeah, you're right. As with any powerful technology, there are some ethical considerations we need to address. But maybe that's a discussion for another time. For now, let's just focus on the potential these advancements hold for improving human health and well-being.
Yeah. Okay, that sounds good to me. So we've covered a lot of ground here. AI helping us find new drugs, AI reading our medical scans, AI predicting our future health. Where do we even go from here?
Well, that's the exciting part. We're just scratching the surface. These advancements are really just the beginning of a healthcare revolution powered by artificial intelligence.
I don't know about you, but I'm very curious to see what the future holds. We'll be right back. To delve even deeper into Google's healthcare initiatives, don't go anywhere.
Welcome back. Before the break, we were talking about some pretty groundbreaking AI developments, especially in the area of drug discovery.
Yeah, it really does feel like science fiction is becoming reality,
Yeah.
like right in front of us. But you mentioned that Google isn't doing all of this alone. Like they're teaming up with some major players in the pharmaceutical world, right?
That's right. I think Google recognizes that. Their real strength is in AI and data analysis. But to really make a dent in drug discovery, they need to work with people who really understand the pharmaceutical industry. You know, the complexities of clinical trials, regulatory hurdles, all the ins and outs of actually bringing a new drug to market.
So it's kind of like a perfect partnership.
Uh-huh.
Google brings the tech,
Right.
and these pharmaceutical companies and research institutions bring all the real-world know-how. And together, they can tackle some of the biggest challenges in medicine.
Exactly. Think about it. You combine Google's AI algorithms with the huge databases and clinical trial capabilities of these big pharma companies, and suddenly you have the potential to really accelerate the development of new treatments for diseases that have been around for centuries.
Wow. And it's not just about finding new drugs either, right? Like AI can also help improve existing treatments and maybe even personalize medicine in ways we haven't even imagined.
Oh, absolutely. Imagine a world where your treatment is tailored to your specific genetic makeup, your lifestyle, your environment. AI can analyze all of those factors and help doctors create the most effective treatment plan for each individual patient.
That's amazing. It really does feel like we're on the verge of a healthcare revolution, and AI is leading the charge.
I think so. And this revolution isn't just happening in labs and research facilities. It's also changing how we access and interact with health information
Right.
in our everyday lives.
We're talking about things like the what people suggest feature in Google search,
Right.
getting those firsthand perspectives from people who are actually living with different conditions.
Exactly. It's about making health information more accessible,
Yeah.
more relatable, and Google's even taking it a step further with a new feature on YouTube called Personal Stories.
Oh, yeah. I think I read about that. It's
Yeah.
like weaving those personal narratives
Yeah.
into all the other health information we find online.
Exactly. So let's say you're searching for information about a specific health condition, alongside all the usual medical websites and articles. You'll also see videos from people who've been diagnosed with that condition, sharing their personal journeys and insights. It's really about adding a human face to what can often feel like a very cold and clinical world.
I can see how that would be so helpful for someone who is newly diagnosed, maybe feeling overwhelmed or isolated. Hearing from others who've been through something similar can really provide a sense of community and support.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing that knowledge and understanding can come from many different sources, not just from medical textbooks and experts.
Right? It's about empowering people to take control of their own health journeys, to become active participants in their own care.
Exactly. And that's ultimately what these advancements are all about: empowering individuals,
Right.
democratizing information, and using technology to improve human health and well-being.
It's an exciting time to be alive, that's for sure. We've covered so much today, from AI drug discovery to personalized medicine to this whole new world of online health information. It's a lot to process.
It really is. But I think that's the beauty of these deep dives.
Yeah.
You know, we get to explore these complex topics together, unravel all the different threads, and hopefully come away with a deeper understanding of how these advancements are shaping the future of healthcare.
I think you're right, and I think it's also important to remember that we're all part of this conversation. As these technologies continue to evolve, it's up to all of us to engage, to ask questions, and to make sure that these advancements are used responsibly and ethically for the benefit of everyone. Wow, it is kind of amazing to think about everything we've talked about today. We started with AI helping us sift through all those online health discussions. Then we jumped to AI predicting new drugs, and even potentially forecasting our own individual health risks. It's almost too much to wrap your head around.
It really is a lot to take in.
Mm.
But I think what's really striking to me is that all of these advancements, as incredible as they are, they're really just the beginning of what's possible. I truly believe we are on the cusp of a healthcare revolution, fueled by artificial intelligence, and it's happening right now.
It's a bit like watching the early days of the internet, right? Back then, we had no idea how much it was going to change our lives. And now with AI, it feels like we're seeing a similar shift happening in healthcare, maybe even with bigger implications for human health and well-being.
Exactly. And just like the internet, this revolution is going to bring both challenges and opportunities. We talked a little bit about some of the ethical considerations.
Mm.
But as these technologies get even more advanced
Yeah.
and more integrated into our healthcare systems, it's going to be so important to have open and honest conversations
Right.
about the potential impact on all of our lives.
Yeah, for sure. We need to be talking about things like data privacy, algorithmic bias, and the changing role of healthcare professionals. In a world that is increasingly driven by AI, it's not just about the technology itself, it's about how we use it responsibly and make sure it benefits everyone.
You're absolutely right. It's about shaping the future of healthcare in a way that aligns with our values, that prioritizes human well-being, and that ensures equitable access to these amazing technologies. It's a responsibility we all share, and it requires all of us to work together: technologists, policymakers, healthcare providers, and most importantly, the individuals who will ultimately be impacted by these advancements.
So where do we go from here? What can our listeners do to be a part of this conversation and help shape the future of AI in healthcare?
Well, I think it starts with awareness, staying informed about all the latest developments, reading articles, listening to podcasts like this one, attending talks and conferences, asking questions, challenging assumptions,
Mm.
and engaging in thoughtful discussions about the ethical implications of these technologies.
Mm.
Your voice matters.
I think that's a great point. And it's easy to get caught up in all the excitement, but we have to remember that these advancements are ultimately about improving our lives. So as we navigate this new territory, let's focus on harnessing the power of AI to create a healthcare system that is more accessible, more equitable, and more effective for everyone.
Well said. This has been a really fascinating exploration of Google's move into the world of healthcare, from AI-powered drug discovery to the changing landscape of online health information. It's clear that Google is playing a big role in shaping the future of how we access, manage, and understand our health.
It's been an amazing deep dive, and I want to thank you all for joining us today. As we've seen, the world of healthcare is changing rapidly, and AI is at the forefront of this transformation. It's definitely a space to watch closely, folks, because the future of healthcare is unfolding right before our eyes. Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and stay engaged in the conversation about the future we're creating together.